What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and tonight is Christmas Eve, and I thought to celebrate I would review a beer from Prairie Artisan Ales, and they're out of Krebs, Oklahoma, and this is their Christmas Bomb, the 2019 vintage. So, the base of this beer is their Prairie Bomb, which is an Imperial Stout that is aged on coffee, chocolate, vanilla beans, and Ancho chili peppers. But for Christmas Bomb, they introduced festive spices, and this year they added cinnamon. Comes in at 13% alcohol by volume, 65 IBUs at the time of review. This bottle is approximately 5 weeks old. So, full disclosure, I've had this one before, not the 2019 vintage, but prior vintages. I think I had the 2014 and either the 2016 or 17. I don't remember off the top of my head. But correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody out there knows, but I thought that they used to have more festive spices than just cinnamon. I'm pretty sure the 2014 had cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and maybe allspice. At least 3 of those 4. So when I saw this, I was like, just cinnamon? You know, it's a festive spice, but at the same time, I thought there'd be ginger, allspice, nutmeg, clove, cardamom, spices that actually fit the festive spirit. But I guess it's just cinnamon this year, so we're gonna go with that. Now, I really like the base Prairie Bomb. I haven't had it in quite a while, but usually batch variation with Prairie Bomb when it comes to my palate anyway. Sometimes the peppers are more intense, sometimes they're not, sometimes the adjuncts hit, sometimes they don't. I don't think I've ever really had like a super fresh bottle of Prairie Bomb. Now this is 5 weeks old, and I think the last Christmas Bomb I had was kind of in the same realm. So I've had Christmas Bomb way more fresh than I've ever had Prairie Bomb, but whatever. Hashtag proper glassware. We're gonna crack this one open, give it a pour. This has been out of the fridge for close to an hour. I'd say around 50-55 minutes at this point. So should be in a prime drinking temperature. And yeah, let's give it a proper pour here. Oh yeah, so that's what I remember Prairie Bomb being, a big, thick, viscous, rich-looking Imperial Stout. And same thing with Christmas Bomb, the couple times I've had it. Yeah, that's pitch black, jet black, absolutely no light getting through, even at the bottom. A lot of times with beers like this, they'll be like, oh, a ruby red tinge or a brown tinge, nothing, just pitch black, about a half finger of this super creamy looking dark brown head. It looks kind of super frothy, just looks fantastic. This looks like, hey, a 13% Imperial Stout, yeah, skin knows. Yeah, so unlike other years that have had Christmas Bomb, those spices that were there are not here because they're just using cinnamon. This kind of smells like the base Prairie Bomb with like a huge blast of cinnamon. Yeah, so the cinnamon screaming off the top, vanilla as well. A very nice roasted coffee note. Deep dark chocolate, 50-60% cacao bar, baker's chocolate, bittering chocolate, semi-sweet chocolate. This is not like a milk chocolate nose. Yeah, it smells very reminiscent of most Mexican style Imperial Stouts that I've had. It almost has the Mexican hot chocolate vibe to it. It smells like it'll be sweet, but it'll be somewhat restrained from the coffee, from the chocolate, and maybe the cinnamon dryness might balance it out in the taste. Yeah, underlying roasted malt, maybe some molasses, and like a very slight black licorice, almost umami kind of vibe to the base stout. Yeah, smells damn good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody, and hopefully your Christmas Eve is going well. Ooh, so that cinnamon, very prevalent on on the palate. I'm getting almost like cinnamon heart candies, kind of. Body on this is very syrupy, and I've always remembered Prairie Bomb having a great body. This is like medium to full on, basically full body. It's not quite chewy, but it's thick, it's syrupy. It has a viscosity that you kind of can tell on here that's appropriate for the style. Mouthfeel, there is a decent carbonation blast, but that syrupy component is mixing in with like this really nice, soft, smooth, almost creamy-esque kind of just mouthfeel. Man, body mouthfeel on this is pretty fantastic. The taste though, that cinnamon heart candies, like those cinnamon hearts are like omnipresent throughout the entire palate. I'm getting on top. But the base stout is just, it's Prairie Bomb, and I love Prairie Bomb, so it's fucking delicious. There is definitely dark chocolate. Like I said, more of like a bittering, like baker's chocolate or like cacao, straight up like cocoa powder, like an unsweetened cocoa powder. The coffee roast is quite prevalent, being this fresh as well. Vanilla is getting kind of lost for me on the palate. And I didn't mention it on the nose, but there, really wasn't any like chili kind of component on the nose. In the taste, there's a very slight spiciness on the back of the throat. So I would say like this batch for me doesn't have the intensity some of the Prairie Bombs have with the peppers. So it just has like a slight earthiness from the pepper, and then just a very, very, very tiny skosh of like a, I don't even want to call it a burn, but just like a sensation of a pepper on the back of the palate. More towards the back of the throat. It finishes sweet, but not as sweet as I thought it was going to be. From the earthiness of the pepper, that little burn in the back of the throat, the dryness of the cinnamon, and like the roasted coffee component, this actually dries out a decent amount, and there's like basically a moderate bitterness, I would say. It's quite well balanced. Yeah, this is, man, cinnamon heart candies all day for me. I did not think the cinnamon, even though, I'm sure they used a lot of cinnamon to kind of produce the whole festive spice thing and make this different from the base Prairie Bomb. I'm not getting any nutmeg or allspice or ginger, so I think cinnamon's the only thing. I would imagine it would have said spices. I think past years the bottle said Imperial Stout brewed with spices, and this year just has cinnamon. So yeah, the cinnamon is huge. If you love cinnamon and you like Prairie Bomb or you like Mexican style Imperial Stouts, grab this one because it has the cinnamon heart candy kind of vibe to it for me, and it's very prevalent, it's predominant, it's definitely the main characteristic in the taste for me, and I like that because I like cinnamon heart candies and I like cinnamon in general. But I could see how this might be overwhelming and too much to certain people, especially if you don't like cinnamon or you don't like a huge spicy component. I guess my only kind of complaint this one is I wish there was a little bit more vanilla and the pepper. Not even the spiciness from pepper. I wish so many pepper stouts, I wish I would get the actual pepper characteristic, like whatever it is, a habanero, ancho chili. I'd like to get that actual taste of that pepper as opposed to just like a slight burn or heat or whatever and an earthiness. And in this one, I'm getting an earthiness and a slight spice, but yeah, this is really good. If you like I said, regular Prairie Bomb and you like cinnamon, I can't see how you wouldn't like this one. I really enjoy it. So Christmas Bomb, the 2019 vintage from Prairie. I'm going to give this a low 4.5 out of 5 and go 4.4 out of 5. I was debating high 4.25, low 4.5. I like the cinnamon enough in here, and I think it's different enough from the base Prairie Bomb that, yeah, I enjoy it. So 4.4 out of 5 for Christmas Bomb from Prairie, the 2019 vintage. If you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. If you haven't picked this up yet and you see some bottles kicking around, by the time you see this review, it's probably going to be around 6-7 weeks old. I'd say give it a go still. I still think that cinnamon will be, just in your face and very pungent. And yeah, it's very delicious. So price and availability on Prairie, I really don't know. I know a lot of people get Prairie now. A lot of my friends, whether in the Northeast or Midwest or South or pretty much anywhere in the States, most people see Prairie. So their availability is pretty good, especially for this. I think they make enough of it where, I mean, there's no like crazy, it's not crazy hard to get. I just walked in my local bottle shop and they had some. So it should be fine from availability standpoint, especially if you already see Prairie. Price point, here's where it goes a little bit sideways, I paid $10.99 for a 12-ounce bottle of this. Now, granted, it's 13%. It has all those adjuncts and spices, the peppers and everything. So maybe from a, market value, this is worth it. But for almost $1 an ounce, that's tough to pay. I don't mind buying the Christmas Bomb once a year for something like this. I don't mind paying, almost $1 an ounce. But a lot of their 12-ounce bottles I just don't buy because a lot of them are priced anywhere between $10 to $14, and even though they're delicious more often than not, it's hard paying $1 an ounce. That's a lot of money. So at the end of the day, is it worth it? That's in the eye of the beholder for me. Buying this once a year, sure. Prairie Bomb I think is like $8 or $9 a bottle, which is still expensive, but I'd much rather pay $8 or $9 for Prairie Bomb than this one, just based on quality is very similar. So the price point being $2 or $3 less. Yeah, it doesn't have the cinnamon, but honestly, as much as I like the cinnamon, I don't know if I really like this all that much more than regular Prairie Bomb. So, if you're going to save $2 or $3, I personally would go with the regular Prairie Bomb. But, for the festive spirit and grabbing this around Christmas and the holidays, I would say give this a go, especially if you like cinnamon. So, once again, appreciate every. Oh, I didn't even talk about 13%, right? Wow, it's huge, and I almost forgot. Look, I can tell you this is a big beer, but this chunk's like 9-10%. Certainly not 13%. Prairie Bomb and all their Imperial Stouts, for the most part, that I've had, even fresh, they hide the alcohol extremely well. So I think Prairie does a pretty good job. Outside of like a warming into the chest, which I appreciate because it is winter time and you want something kind of warm you up. It's a hashtag stout season. Always stout season here on the Beer Patrol. Even though it is 13%, it drinks like, 3 or 4% lower than that for my palate. I don't think it's a big boozy monster of a beer, which is very nice. So yeah, overall, a really good beer. So hopefully everybody is having a great Christmas Eve with family and friends and whatnot. And hopefully you guys have a great Christmas tomorrow. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review. And until tomorrow's Christmas review, I bid you farewell. Cheers.